You're listening to Rebel Spirituality with me, Sam Goldfinch. Here's the truth. Wisdom doesn't follow rules. So each week we're going to explore what it means to wake up your way so you can live a more peaceful, creative and inspired life no matter your circumstances. It's time to blaze your unique path to truth. Hey Rebel friend. So today we're talking about the fact that you can't force peace. And it kind of seems a bit obvious when you think about it, I guess. It's sort of like forcing something, trying to make it happen, really struggling against it, and peace are kind of the opposite of each other, right? It kind of seems quite clear when I reflect on it in this moment. But I wonder how often we try to, right? How many times do we try and control our experience so that we can experience more peace, right? And it's a little bit like a pressure cooker, I guess, ultimately, when we try to control something that just wants to move. Like the image I've got at the moment is like trying to get a cat into a bag. Not that I've ever tried to do that, and I certainly don't recommend trying to put cats in bags. But as a metaphor, it potentially works quite well. So when we're kind of struggling with what's going on for ourselves, or we're trying to make it something that it's not, we're kind of arguing with life. That's something that I've been talking about recently. And I guess one of the ways that we tend to do that is that we make it a big deal that we're feeling a certain way, right? And so this might show up in different ways. So perhaps we're in a funk at the moment, or perhaps we're just in a lower mood, or we're not feeling so good. Are we making it a big deal, basically? Are we kind of saying to ourselves, I shouldn't be feeling like this. This isn't supposed to be happening. Are we arguing with it? Anxieties come up or whatever it might be. And we're kind of at war with it, if you like. We're trying to get rid of it. We're trying to control it or make it go away, however it kind of shows up for us. But what if it's not such a big deal? We didn't make it happen, did we? It's not like we woke up in the morning and went, so this morning I'm going to wake up and I'm going to feel all activated and anxious. It's not like we decided that yesterday afternoon we were going to go through a moment of feeling a bit down. It's not like we predicted ahead of time any of this kind of stuff. It's just appearances, right? It's stuff that appears in a sensory level, and then we label it and we turn it into something more concrete. We put concepts on it, and then we kind of make it wrong. And I think for many of us, we've been taught at a societal level, a cultural level very often, particularly in the West, that if we're feeling discomfort, there's something wrong. And just notice this, just reflect on it, just see if this shows up for you over the course of this week coming. How many times does your mind instantly go to that kind of assessment of the situation? There's something wrong. I shouldn't be feeling this. I need to get rid of it. And just that's resistance, right? It's not like you're not doing that either. It's just the mind doing what minds do. But it can be very, very powerful to catch that and ask ourselves, well, what if there isn't something wrong? What if it's just the movement? And throughout this human life, we're going to experience all sorts of stuff, okay? No matter how much we wake up or become free, we're going to have human emotions. We're going to have movements in the system. I'm personally not behind the idea that, reject all of that stuff. It doesn't matter. I 100% think that we don't want to be a victim of any of that stuff. And by that, I mean, we don't want to get caught up in the idea that our emotions or our feelings or our thinking is kind of more powerful than us, being who we are, who we really are. Those movements are a part of us. They're moving through us, but they don't impact us at that level. They can't touch us. So the idea that they do, the idea that they're out to get us, the idea that they're dangerous can be one of the key factors behind why we're trying to push them away or control them. So sure, we want to see through that. And that's one of the key things that I'm up to with my work. But at the same time, we don't want to kind of deny things or try and pretend that we're this, pure being who never experiences moods or never has, come on. I just think that's actually something that bites us in the arse. It's not helpful on the journey. So I have shared many times, as have many others, the metaphor of the snow globe and of kind of like a murky pond where the silt has been lifted up from a storm moving through and kind of stirring everything up. And apparently this is a story that was told during the time of the Buddha, and I'm going to guess before that, Thing is, if we leave it alone, things will settle. So in a way, in this metaphor, not leaving it alone is trying to control it, right? So you get in there and you try and make the mud settle in the pond or whatever it might be, or you, like with the snow globe, it's kind of like trying to make the snow globe settle by shaking it, and but that's not how it goes, right? It settles naturally. Peace is something that you can't force. That's the whole point. And for many of us, one way or another, innocently, that's what we've been up to. We're trying to force ourselves into a state of peace. But peace is who we are. It's not something that we make happen in that way. It's not an achievement. It's a truth of our being. It's an aspect of us. And it's the backdrop. And even when things are stirred up and we may be feeling emotional or whatever it might be, that peace is still there. But if our attention is fully on thought and thinking, and the stories that are running through our head, we don't tend to notice it. So even just having our awareness on that, coming to notice that background sense of contentment, that sits behind all of the things that come and go and all of the things that can stir up in the snow globe is really helpful. And then just looking towards that direction and just not making it such a big deal that we're feeling sad or that we're feeling anxious or that anything, it's like, okay, this is what's here right now. It's not a problem. I don't have to problem solve this. I don't have to get all intellectual about it. I don't have to kind of go into my mind and conceptualize it and run it through this and run it through that. I can just take my hands off the steering wheel and watch what happens. And what we'll find is that when we don't try to control energy, when we don't argue with energy, when we're not fighting with it, it dissipates in its own time. It's often not in the frame that we'd like it. It's like, well, if I just do this, then I'll get rid of my anxiety in 30 seconds. Maybe that will happen sometimes. Sometimes it takes a bit longer. But the less we can make it wrong, the less we try to force ourselves to peace, the more we'll naturally just kind of find ourselves there because we're not sticking our fingers in the machinery of something that we don't need to. Right, I enjoyed that one. That was cool. So I hope you have a great day, and just another quick reminder that, lots of changes and cool shit happening in Rebel Spirituality over the coming weeks and months. So be sure to get your name on the waitlist in the show notes if you haven't already, and you'll be amongst the first to know to find out about stuff. All right, Rebel, have a good day. See you soon.